Thank you for joining us for another episode of Bent Not Broken, where we speak with regular folks like you and I who have mustered up the courage to accept everything that has happened in their lives so that they can no longer hold them prisoner and to stand tall in their truth. So today we'll be speaking with Sosheina Whyte, who will be sharing with us her journey of overcoming. She will be detailing some of the things that have befell her in life, which under normal circumstances should have left her broken and feeling defeated, but she's still here and standing tall. So, Sheena, thank you for joining us here on Bent Not Broken.
Thank you so much, Stacey, for having me. It really is a pleasure. And I want to say that I do appreciate this series that you have been putting on because I think we need more avenues like this where persons are able to pretty much talk about what broke them or brought them to the board of being bent rather than being broken. So I think what you're doing is a fantastic thing.
Thank you. So let us jump right into it. So tell us, who is Sosheina Whyte now?
Okay, so Sosheina is a licensed associate counseling psychologist. Sosheina is creator of the mental health brand Roar Unleashed that encourages all individuals, especially those of us who are ancestrally African, to fiercely protect our most valuable asset through talk. Sosheina is a divorcee. Sosheina is a strong woman, a woman who is very much self-aware, a woman who is an advocate for those persons who are in relationships that are psychologically abusive. Sosheina is really a mental health ambassador, an individual who encourages other persons to stand tall in their truth and, of course, to walk the path of mental wellness. So Sheena is an ambivert, so I'm a mix between introvert and extrovert. Right? Sometimes I just want to be by myself, and sometimes, I'm out there, I'm the life of the party.
I totally understand that.
Sheena is the ambivert, though.
Totally understand that.
So Sheena is also, that friend, that person for you who is pretty much really loyal, somebody who would always encourage you or will always encourage you to be you, to be yourself, and encourage you along your path. Your biggest cheerleader, if it is that we are friends,
yes.
Your biggest supporter, encourager.
We need that. We need that sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I need that. So.
All right, so there's a lot of things where you described there, Sosheina. So were you always this person though?
To be truthful, we are always who we are. It's the essence of our being, yeah. But I think that based on the circumstances and situations, that we probably would not have experienced before, or, experiences that we would not have stepped into, we would not have recognized that this is who we are as an individual, right? Amen. So it's a kind of a yes or no kind of a thing. I know that as Sosheina is really all of these things, but it's a journey that would take me to each of these pit stops and each of these character stops and character building.
More of you.
Right. To kind of pull that out. So yes, I was always that, but no, in the sense that it wasn't always revealed, as experiences came on in life, I kind of say, hey, yeah, man, this is me building, this is me revealing the true essence of who I am.
All right. So tell us about, some of, I don't know if there's one particular aspect of your journey that you want to focus on, but, tell us about something that you really thought would have left you broken, knocked you out, lick you for six, but you were able to overcome that situation.
Well, girl.
Look here, when you hear the girl, you know exactly what's coming next.
Girl, oh my
All right,
goodness.
I'm sitting up in my chair and I'm getting ready for it, Sosheina.
Yes, you gotta listen to this one, right? So what is interesting is that speaking broadly, the answer would be divorce. Divorce is a thing that actually bent me, but not broke. But it's not really so much the divorce, it is the relationship of a marriage that actually carried me to the point of bending me good and proper, nearly broke me up in a million pieces. And divorce was the rescue of that. And
Okay.
I really want to make that distinction, because a lot of times we hear, oh, divorce, oh my God, I'm sorry that you are divorced, and so on. And I keep on
always
people,
have that
no,
negative connotation to it, as if to say it's a bad
yes,
thing, you
because
know?
it's divorce, yeah, like it's a bad thing. No. For me, divorce was the greatest thing that could have happened along my particular journey at this point. So now that everybody kind of understand where I'm going from now, no. So it's really the marriage that I was in that was the bending factor that actually brought me to a point where I felt as though, you know, I couldn't make it. I now go on. I feel like me I suffocate, me I stifle, that kind of a vibe. And it was the option of divorce that actually rescued me, or walked me into that rescue mission.
So
to
divorce show you the light.
So divorce kind of show me the light, and it give me kind of like this phoenix thing with this whole rebirth. You understand? And I really have to make the distinction with that point, because a lot of persons think that, as I mentioned earlier, that divorce is bad. And divorce would mean that, okay, at this point you are broken. But the truth is, enough of we will reach the divorce point or exiting of a relationship can tell you, say, that's the beginning of the healing, because the bending, right? Can I get a witness up in here, right? The relationship itself. So that's really what it is, right? It's really the marriage and the relationship, because my relationship was psychologically abusive. Right. And as a psychologist, I couldn't understand how, as a psychologist, I'm in this particular relationship that is supposed to be like a little safe haven, but out there, right, people with their particular issues. I'm talking about, you know, getting over hurt and pain and dealing with trauma and all of those things. And in my own little circle or relationship, it was hell that I was going through. So, being in the marriage, psychologically abusive, not understanding really what it was, because being in a relationship, you pretty much feel like if abuse is brought up, you're going to be able to recognize it, because it's like
think about box and kick and talk,
hold on and the work. But I went through that marital period being psychologically abused because I was emotionally held hostage. I was in a relationship where my strengths, my loyalty, my characteristics that people would, you know, appreciate on the positive side were held at me as like at gunpoint to say, all right, since you're all of this, then do this. Since you're a counselor, they have to hug up this. Since it is that you are such a kind spirit and you're always helping people and so on, they pretty much have to hug up all of this that I'm giving to you. And if you don't, it would mean that you are a failure, that this marriage is a failure, and that you would have done something to destroy. Yeah. So I was psychologically abused, everything that you can think of, called the worst names, treated in the worst manner, isolated, lock out of my own house, everything where you can think of. You know, just the names, you know, being isolated, as I said earlier, you know, everything that you can think of psychologically abusive pretty much take place. Held at ransom, like you sit down over there so you can't move, you can't do this, you know, those kinds of things. You know, just things that were said, names that I was called, all of the works, the whole entire work.
So how long did this go on for before you were able to recognize, you know, that, you know, basically you were being abused?
So it actually went on. I was married for 2 years, 2012 to 2014. 2014 was when I pack up and say, all right, you need to leave the physical space and leave the union, because you're really not getting better. But one of the trick marks of being in the marriage was that he always said, you know, that I am broken, meaning him. I'm going through a lot of things, and you are the only one that can pretty much understand. And that's why I say,
so you in a psychologist role feel like, you know what, I have to fix this man. I can't leave him like this.
And if I get up and I go out there to help other persons in their relationship,
You have to
and
help your
other
husband
people,
too.
I have to help my husband,
Yeah.
what kind of individual I am. You know what I mean? So the only part bending up start to take place because I was actually bending backwards to suit this individual and walk with this individual through a particular journey and in my mind change this individual. So me I bend, and the more I was bending, it was more that like it was hurting me rather than enhancing the relationship or changing that particular
Well, we feel
so
like
it
so
was
we can
really
fix everything, but we can't fix
that's the
everything.
problem, but we can't fix everything. And I speak about the psychological aspect of it, with thinking that we can fix everything because society pretty much run a dictation from where we say. As a woman, if your husband, your spouse, your man is not happy, it means that there is something wrong with you.
Yes.
You
are the problem.
You are the problem. You understand what? You're not giving enough picnic, you're not giving enough loving, and so on. And then it opens
everything. You get too fat.
You get too fat.
Yes, man.
You. And if you don't fix yourself, and if you don't cook properly, if you don't do this proper, all of the things them proper.
Then whatever he does is justified.
Everything that he does is justified. And then nice little history over there. We're coming and tell us, well, if you're not fix it, now go take your man. So the take your man kind of thing is like, since you're not doing the duty, girl, I'm going to take your man. So those are some of the mindsets within the setting of marriage and relationships that actually help to bend us. So really, I was bending over backwards to fit into something and to do something that I couldn't do, which is change the individual.
Right. So, all right now, because I don't know if it's a hot up enough, Sosheina, it's a hot up. So, you have recognized that, yes, psychologically, this is abuse. What is your next step? Are you saying, outside of you trying to fix the individual, at what point you say, look, a time for my Lego now? What happened? Was there a particular incident that took place where you said, no, I hit this?
Oh, yeah. So what happened was, I get chance after chance.
Man.
And the big part of it was that it was infidelity. And oh my God, everybody get preferred over you. And he would do a lot of little things, because he knew that I really, pretty much growing up like an only child, one of the personal things that you like is you like company. So, even in friendships and so on, you like the idea of company because you grew up by your little self. You're not really about company. So you really do like company and you do appreciate it. And in those companies, you also like when somebody can say, yeah, girl, good job, because you also tend to do that for individuals. You understand? Yeah, man. Remember I told you earlier, I'm your biggest supporter, that kind of a thing. So I always look for, or not really look for, but would appreciate when persons would say such things to me because you don't really hear it regular.
Yeah, so look at like a reassurance.
Yeah, man, and it's nothing wrong with that, man. Because you want, if you're somebody and hang out and say, you want to say, Sosheina, that did one good and you feel nice. So we're going through the relationship and everybody is being put on a pedestal over me and so on. Never started out that way, but turn off events and so on. And I remember the precursor to the straw that broke the camel's back, the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, was that I found out a young lady that he was involved with one daughter. And she called me. And, she started to go round and so on and so forth. And then, but pick up now my spirit, say, all right, this is it. This is a relationship and everything. And we can't really bother with that now. This was about some months into my marriage. So I really wanted to leave. Like me, I said,
did you say months into the marriage?
Yeah, man. So later on in the story, right? Which I can read in a little book, right? But later on in the story,
guys, you can go and get her book. Her book is on.
I'm so tell you about the book, right? But when you fast forward now, I will start to understand and put everything together. This young lady would have been in the marriage 2 weeks, from about 2 weeks after my wedding. She in the marriage to some months. So we reach later down in the year now. And she kind of reveal herself. I'm done. Like me, I say, yo, I'm done with this. Can't bother the foolishness. And I wanted out of the marriage. And then people were saying, yo, you know, say your marriage kind of young, you know, give it a little chance and whatever, whatever. And then I said, all right, here's the thing. I have a conversation. I'm say, yo, God, but me tell you what I keep now.
Yeah.
Go to my husband, and I'm going to explain all of the little nitty-gritty. And me just have to rest it. Me now search phone no more. My heart now go palpitate when me see another female. Me not really depend that because me not think some people supposed to live up them little life. And I said, I'm going to have one last conversation with him and me rest it. But you see, if you ever give me a little inclination, a little bird eye, say, boy, a little next little cheating of one or something, then I'm going to just go without question. And I left it. I go have a conversation with him, me explain what cheating is. Like me take out flip chart.
Okay.
This is cheating. Come I'm going, I'm a little teacher mode now, you know. So I explain from the top. And I explain cause and effect of cheating and how people would always this. And he said there, I'm say, all right, here we go. May I ask for forgiveness for anything that I might have done?
Yeah.
And may I give you a clean slate, me could just start over. Barely answer me, say yes. But me done. Anyway, I'm going through naturally and so on. Maybe about a year after that, if so much, he was going to an event, Ocean Styles 2014 in Montego Bay, and he decided, say, all right, I'm going to go, me help pack him up and so on and so forth, him go.
Yeah.
So I asked now, just out of, come remember tell him I like company. So he was going by himself as a photographer. So I say, anybody going, who are you going to room when you reach there? But me really and truly, because remember me tell you, say, home girl, done and dusted, me not really thick bone up in them. So I said to him, who are you going to room? Because I think when I'm virgin, so I said to me, say, what another photographer by the name of Kemar, because he's a photographer. He's going to room with him and whatever. I said, all right, no problem. Girl done and dusted. Monday I'm supposed to come up. Monday night I spent, or Tuesday night I spent the night at my best friend's house. She asleep. Wake up. She wake up 5 o'clock. Me wake up 5 o'clock. She use the bathroom. So me I said, but this is not my hours to get up. So she start, look a little way. She start laughing. She said, no, sir, I just have a dream. I'm going to say, what? Where a dream? And she said, go back to your bed, man. Go back to your bed. Because I'm supposed to get up to go work 8 o'clock. I said, go back to your bed. Go back to your bed. And we'll go back and we get up closer to 8 o'clock.
Right.
I'm going to say a dream now. And she looked at me and she said, my dream say, I should call him name, have a girlfriend. I knit up my brow and I said, she started chuckling and she said, go back to your bed, man. No matter going to work. That have nothing to do with that. I'm going to say, what she look like? And she described her in detail. I'm going to say, all right. When I get ready now, I'm going to leave, I'm going to go work. I start search through Facebook. We just get led there. I'm going to start searching. I'm realizing some pictures. Long story short now. I see a couple pictures, I'm going to snap it, I'm going to send it to her. I say, that person here, I just feel, because this person is a part of the team that he was working with. And I saw that she was there. I'm going to send a picture. And she said, yes, not this picture, because she had recently cut her hair, so she had a different look.
Okay.
But she said, that is the person that I saw in the tree. I'm going to say, all right, and from this up, your home girl go now. I'm going to say, all right, because remember the look of promise when we did make to the Almighty himself, say, if I nothing.
You ask, yes.
Understand? So me get a little, that is it. And then that was just it. I go home, I had a conversation with his mother, and then I come home and I pack up his clothes nicely, and him come in and him ask, what go on, yes, and I don't be nervous, as old people say, on him, and that was just it. And I felt a sense of peace. I now tell us I'm not cry and go on, but I go through because I really did. In the midst of the storm and the turmoil of the separation, there was an innate sense of peace that the kind of rest for say, all right, that is what it was. And I only found out majority of the details, like who she was and how long them did involve in a relationship and so on and so forth. After we start dig up Instagram, me and my friend and my cousin and sister, everybody start dig up Instagram and we start, because we wanted answers, but not to get back, but to kind of find out, hey, what was happening here? So that was the straw that broke the camels back to say, all right, I was leaving out of it because I couldn't take anymore. I couldn't take the embarrassment, I couldn't take the cheating, I couldn't take the degrading. And every time he got in an extramarital affair with Smaddy, I know, because the classification and the classification of what you is and what you is not got worse.
Oh, so no. So whenever things sweet out the road, they make it so in the yard.
Absolutely. And it was
all of a sudden you're the worst person ever.
Yes. And I kept getting that even from other individuals who would text, and it was always, yo, you're this and you're stifling, and all of the women would say those things. And I was looking at it from the perspective to say, people, stop the noise and whatever. But then I recognized that, well, I don't know.
If you want to tell them
out the road is like that, and so maybe I'm true. Maybe me, I decided.
So you start question yourself.
So I start to question myself. And then I said, no. That's not it. I did everything that I could, but you were not ready for it. And I'm not going to allow you to tear me down no further, because I'm sure one nice clean skin man out there would have really like a nice chiquita like
Amen.
I just fucking go on, I scrape up my yard, I said leave. It brought me to a point where I was really bent, but I didn't stay long enough for him to break me to a point where I could not be repaired.
Okay. So when you pack up the man clothes and you say, here what? This is it. Go about your business. Did he leave willingly? What was his reaction to all of that?
Okay,
did him come back, or what? Did he try to? Him try make your life miserable after that, though. So we just want them to just grab the bag and say, all right, bye.
Let me tell you what happened, right? It's interesting. So, but pack him up, and but I left the house and come back a little later. Me and my sister. When we come back now, we see some whole heap of photographers start converge on the scene. So we said, what happened? And by the time we came, another photographer pick him up and start for sure like this screw face kind of a vibe. So we said, what happened here, sir? So some of the photographers came now and they were like, oh, he make a post in the photography group, or his wife throw him out. So everybody now did have this concern to say, like, Sosheina, get off. So whatever. So anyway, I called them one side and I said, come here. So all the time when they did see him and shoot or walk up and down with this particular individual, it never strike you. And them, of course, them say, yeah, I will try to talk to him and X and Y and Z. So he left, but only some of the things them needed pack up. Him leave for a little while, and then him not make no effort. Well, we don't really want him come back, but he wasn't making any effort to come back. So he sent me a message on Messenger. It was BlackBerry Messenger at the time, and he must say, oh, I'm wicked for throw him out and no say him now have nowhere for go. Wow. Bear in mind, mother and father live. Right? So you can, and you have more than enough people to go to.
Then you not have to want me to the girl. Want me to the
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So him start to say that now and whatever. But what was interesting is that him never come back, never whatever. I said to him, say, no, I've done. I forgot on the road. He did not say what he did. He didn't admit to it. I remember say a piece of information. My depend, Him not come, him not say anything. When it was, this was about October. So when it come down close now to like Christmas, like I said to myself, say, all right, I have to declutter my space, clear out my life and whatever. So me and my parents pack up everything that belonged to it. Drum, trumpet, everything will belong to it.
Right.
I will put in a nice little van. I will carry it to his parents' house and offload, because we say, all right, Christmas, spring cleaning, clean out everything and just let out all of the negative energy. And we did that. And he never came back. He never once came to say, okay, this is what happened. I am sorry. He never apologized, never did anything like that. When I started working at the institution that I now work at, they opened a salon there. And him not do nothing more than encourage the young lady to come there and work in the salon. And he would be on campus like 3 hours a day. Him and him 2 friends, them and them a walk and kind of like this stalker thing and so on and so forth. And he wasn't letting go, not approach me, but like he might intimidate him and make him present and so on. And so I made a report to the director of safety at the time. I'm gonna say, yo, I don't really feel safe, you know, with what is happening and so on. And then he put some measures in place. He would see me on the road, I drive up Mountain View and pretty much try to use the car to swerve and, you know, try to intimidate him, use the car wash where they're right on the road and whatever. So him kind of set up this. But girl not back in because not have the time for the foolishness. You're not going to scare me out of a job that I really wanted, an area that I'm very familiar. You're not going to do that. And so I pretty much stood my ground. As I said, he has never come back to say, I am sorry or even to give an explanation. Everything that I found out through social media.
All right. But had he come back and said to you, I'm sorry, and explain, you know, probably whatever his reasoning is behind why everything happened the way it happened, would you, may I ask you your answer now? Would you have rethink your decision and, you know, given him another chance?
No.
You wouldn't.
Because remember the precursor, what I tell you, was say, remember what I also said that 2 weeks into the relationship.
Yeah, all of this had started. Right.
I was never once happy in marriage. And that was something that stood out to me.
Yeah.
I hear people say all the while, oh, you know, say the relationship nice and you know, it maybe start to go downhill after like you have a child and you have to make some adjustment, or maybe your husband losing work and you know something could change. And in those relationships, we can genuinely appreciate, because as a psychologist, I do understand that sometimes little turmoil will happen, will kind of rock the harmonious state of your relationship, and you just have to kind of counter steer and readjust. Yeah.
But then it all comes down to people wanting to put in the work to get to
put in the work. I have to make the decision. And I recognize that it was not just an extramarital affair. I was being used and abused because I provided a shelter that I really never think nothing much of. I provided a vehicle that made it just think, say, man, not trying not to emasculate you instead of picking up from places. Yeah, man, you can
just get a car and say, you go and go do what you do.
Because we never really travel that much and you are enough for that kind of a thing. But when I sat back and I recognized that, yo, and I said this all the time and people go, oh, Sosheina, don't say it. I said, you know what I recognize? My husband never even liked me. And them say, no, why you gonna say that? Don't say that. I'm gonna say, but no. When I talk about the love, he never loved me. We know that. He never respect me. We know that through the different actions. But I recognize that he never ever even liked me, because
so
there was
it was just the opportunity that he saw in you then.
It was the opportunity. And I have to face that bar and say to myself, say, it has nothing to do with you.
No.
People will come into your life and try to use you because of how nice you are, how phenomenal you are, because you're a good woman. They will, and it have nothing really to do with you. So I recognize that him genuinely never liked me, because if there was a sense of like, you know what I mean, there would be a little bit of a respect, and maybe that like would even grow into love, because everybody can tell you, even the people, especially those who have arranged marriages, they will tell you, say, or people when them talk them love story, you know, so I never like my husband at first, or a best friend, you know, so me and my best friend couldn't agree at first, and then I start for like, and then that like now kind of evolved into this
something else, right?
Love, you know, respect. But I could not pinpoint a particular point or action that would say to me that, yeah, you know, say your husband liked you as a person, you know, and that was what I was entangled in, that was really bending me all different ways and shape and form and so on. And as a result of that, I had to regroup my thinking. I had to regroup my actions. I had to regroup myself, you know, so that I could step outside of that arena of bending and, evolve into the person that I am today.
Got you. So all of this has transpired, and it now come down to the point where, so you were the one who filed for the divorce,
Yeah.
right? I vaguely remember an ad I saw in the newspaper. I think that's what drew my attention to the fact that, there was trouble in the camp.
Yeah.
So how was that for you, having to deal with something so private, kind of, somewhat publicly?
Girl, but I tell you the story here. So. I reach one little point now where I was like, enough is enough. And I like the fact that you said, something that was so private. Because I want to correct that notion there. There was nothing private about the relationship that I had. Because in hindsight, when everything bust out now, I have to go forward to carry you backward, when everything was out, I recognized that I was the only one who was in the relationship. And this is an important point. That was trying to keep it private. Because homeboy was out there swinging it on the left and swinging it on the right. Everybody.
So what I know, so Sosheina, everybody knows that I get born except you.
Everybody knew that I was getting, but you see, one time I dropped the bomb and said, yo, the relationship is over and stuff. Persons now start to breathe a sigh of relief, and everybody
and they start telling you the story.
So she now me see, them see my matter, them see my mandible, them see Oche, them see my
that brings about an important point, because sometimes we will see things and we think like, oh my God, like we feel bad for the person, like we genuinely feel bad, and we would have want to say something, but then we also look at it to say, boy, our people personal business, don't get involved, because not everybody is receptive to you coming and saying certain things to them. Some people, them will cuss you out and things. So I think that's why people kind of just turn a blind eye.
Genuinely,
and leave it alone.
Genuinely, I'm okay if you don't want to say something. But here is the point that I learned. Stop covering up for people, because them now cover up for themselves, and their actions out there will embarrass you and make you look like fool.
Oh,
so
yes.
Say it now, Stacey. You see me and you just genuinely, I said, hi, Sosheina, how are you? How are you doing? Hi, this is so-and-so, how are you doing? I say, girl, I'm good in whatever. And you just genuinely ask. Me never put it in the reverse. You just genuinely ask. So your husband, oh gosh, my husband, the marriage is so wonderful and so perfect. Me never gonna put it to you see him first. That is why you ask me. Me I put it to you ask me. Say, next week, you and your little booby can go out on a little date and you go see him out here with somebody. I like you say, Jesus, Father, God of creation, not Sosheina husband that. But I know it's honorable. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to be authentic with what your relationship are, what your relationships are, and how your relationships are going.
Right. Sosheina, that was one thing me know with me, till the man they tell me, like me tell everybody our business, but I didn't care. I just spoke the truth. So that you see, if you're out the road and people see you, me not feel like idiots, because they don't tell them who you is and what you're about,
Absolutely.
And but I don't know why we always try to, keep up this facade so that, oh my God, no, we just need to just be authentic, as you say,
Yeah. Be authentic. And the moment I started to be authentic is the more I got the information that I needed to reassure me, say, yeah, girl.
I know you are the problem.
But I know you are the problem. Do the right thing. Continue in doing the right thing and don't feel any particular way. And also, it kind of give a sense of relief, because people were not tiptoeing around what the issues are. You understand? And then when they ask me, how are you doing? They're asking from a particular place, and I don't have to lie. So, okay, all right. You all right? Oh, yeah, take this. And then the support started to roll in as a treatment to a specific issue. You understand? So when you know them know say boy you and the husband pull up or him out there and him do them something, then when them a check for you, they are checking on you because they know exactly what is happening. And any word support that they can give is towards that particular issue for no say, yo, I kind of have trouble in that paradise, instead of, okay, everything is fine, and that's not happening. You understand? That's not the truth.
So was the divorce was it a smooth process? How long did that take? And
I never finished to tell you. I never finished to tell you, right? Never finished the cleaner part. So I didn't know that in talking and being truthful, he must somebody who would have incur a lot of debt. That's the type of person that he is. I'm sure the debt down on my doorstep. And I decided that, I'm going to actually put it there so that person to know that this is it. So when we go down to the company now, normally they would give you an announcement slot like that. Like it kind of stay like how the debt run at the debt column. Right. So anyway, I'm going to step up now. So the lady see me. So I'm going to say, I would like something in the gleaner. I'm about my husband. So she said, young girl like you. I'm going to say, yeah, man, be a born, miss, be a national hero. Let me tell you something. Can do something for you, I say, what? She said, you really want it for God? I say, yeah, man, because I'm tired of the foolishness or whatever. She said, I'm going to run it as an ad for you. The Sunday cleaner, right in the first section. There. So, you want that? I said, where you say, miss? You are guilty. You are not, yeah, man, because I'm tired of the foolishness. And she allowed to run it like an ad. So that is why a lot of persons were able to see it.
Yeah, man, because it was a big, bold,
Yes. Never eat up around the top,
No. It was very hard to miss.
Very hard to miss. So because you do me up like that, part of me was like, yeah, man. But it was also symbolic in me taking back my power and using my voice. I don't want to itch up thing on a back. I really wanted to put it out there so that everybody would know that that was what was happening. Done with that.
Right.
So
how long now how long the divorce process take? How long before you get that? What do you call it now? The decree DC? Is that it?
DC, absolute decree, absolute.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, let me make a point. You see, when you're ready to step out of something, the way towards it will be cleared. You see, once you not have no itchings, the way I go, because I was nervous that it's going to take long or whatever. Let me tell you something. When God ready for line up some people for help you choose the river Jordan, when you decide you have a cross, you have a friend. You don't know where them are come from. I went to a lawyer's office on East Street of Oliver P. Llewellyn. Big up Oliver P. Llewellyn, attorney at law. And his secretary at the time, Tanisha. When we go there, me and my father will go down there, we'll find the place, we'll go in and look at building. The lady help her from start to finish, to the point where it never take long. She listen, she type up, so on and so forth. So we did the year of the separation, and then after that the process pretty much rolled out quickly. We didn't have any children. We never have any assets or anything like that. She said, you know, want nothing. We said, no, miss, we don't want anything.
Just my freedom.
Yeah, man, just my freedom. Like, Tina Turner. Because when I watch the Tina Turner thing, I'm here, Tina Turner said she don't want to act money. Don't want her name. When I watched it many years ago, like me, I say, second. But then when I walked through it, I realized, no, man, you don't want to tie up yourself with none of them assets and whatever. You want a clean break.
Amen.
And so in that clean break, the process, it never took long. It never felt like it was taking long, because moving towards that, I was healing myself. I was getting support and so on. So God lined up all of the necessary people to walk me through that passage. So I started filing 2015, and by 2016, it was complete.
Okay. And you know, that was now history.
Yes, total history. Park it, put it down, and move on. And I did a lot of repairing of self, a lot of tearing away and examination.
And that is important. And I think that's a part that we kind of discount. Like we don't take that time to try and work through, you know, our emotions and, you know, what has just happened and what would just go through. You know, some of us try to go seek comfort like in a rebound relationship, and I always tell people like, you know, no,
No.
no, no,
You have
no.
time and process yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Carry on, go on, because your support system is going to be there to carry you and to help you. I did
Yeah.
many things. My best friend step in, my sister step in, my parents were there,
Yeah.
family members, everybody said, come on, we are going to try. As I said, when we are talking about when you're ready for step out, you are going to be lined up with individuals and circumstances and situations to kind of help you through it. So you just have to hold it like a G
Yeah.
and just go through. Don't be afraid. You're not going to go through it by yourself, but you have to use your voice and you have to be open. You have to be vulnerable and you have to say, yo, this may I go through.
Yes.
Help. And you will get the help from all corners of the world. You'll get the help that you need to survive on the other side.
All right. So having gone through all of that, you know, has that changed your outlook on marriage, or is it something that, you know, you would be open to again?
Oh gosh, me dance for a nice clean skin, man. I did it. What you say? Because I've heard a lot of persons say, why you know them not go through with me? Me say I never get a fair shot at marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't wait
Yeah.
to actually go through it the right and proper way. And I
Mm-hmm.
can't be unfair to self and cheat self. I made a decision to get into a relationship based on promise and possibility, and it never worked. All right with that.
Yeah.
So if everybody can get a second chance in life, me can get a second chance where this is
Amen.
concerned. And you are stepping back into it because marriage is a beautiful thing. Relationship and companionship is a beautiful thing. And I refuse to allow somebody's misuse of it from someone. Because a nice clean skin man out there waiting for a nice clean skin woman like me.
Amen to that.
All of this from the world. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But we have to get to a point where we understand that everything we will go through. Because today I can say I am so glad that I went through it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I survived it because and I thrived it because it made me step into the shadow parts of myself that I wasn't revealing. The strength, the ability to be open and talk. And it's not just the character building part, but also the asset part of it, which is like the brand, you know, Roar Unleash and everything that comes with that, the type of psychologist that I am, everything that is birthed out of it. But give thanks for that because I was still stuck in that relationship and I never got through all of that and emerged from it. Then I wouldn't be blessed with all of these things. You know what I mean? And so I understand kudos over there. So I say, well, you really do my body now. But I'm grateful for it because emerged much stronger. I have emerged a better individual, a greater me, a greater Sosheina than I was prior to that. And we have to be fair. We have to be fair. We can't just and whatever, because I wasn't about to allow you to turn me into somebody bitter forever. I mean, I feel like while I used to quarrel and say, well, what is happening now? But you know, emergence of it, of course. And it's okay to feel that way, but never ever you stay there. Don't stay in the valley of bitterness. Don't stay in the valley of regret and cutting off your nose to spite your face and all them kind of things there. Emerge, because on the other side of your pain is greatness. And your pain is going to position you for your purpose.
Amen. So what are some of the takeaways? You know, so for anybody listening to this interview now, you know, what would you like to say to them? You know, any little nuggets you want to leave with them, you know, anything that helped you on this journey, you know, helped you to cope and, you know, like I said, to bend but not break, you know, any advice that you want to share?
Sure. I want to share that life is not perfect. And we will walk through some valleys, valleys of the shadows of death. We are going to experience some challenges, some difficult situations, some fiery darts. But if we have the right perspective to understand that these things have come into our lives to evolve us into our higher selves, to allow us to become better individuals, then when it comes, we process it and we step up to step over it, then we will be fine. We will be okay. I want persons to understand that sometimes we catch up in some situations and it really is not our fault. I struggled with that for a long time because persons would say, as something where you do and you do. And me able to get up one day and say, I mean, I'll tell you the truth. No, me not take on none of that.
Yeah.
I am not saying that every relationship is perfect. Of course, they do little nagging, but them they are normal relationship things because we're imperfect. But I didn't do anything wrong to warrant an abuse. And I'm going to take that blame. I'm going to put it back on you.
Yeah.
You abused me. You misused me and ill-treat me. I'm not going to take on that and I'm not going to help you to share that burden.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, when you find yourself in an abusive relationship, understand that it is not your fault. It is not anything that you have done or said or anything like that. Put the blame back on the individual. Once you begin to do that, you begin to hold on to and take back the power that the individual would have stolen from you. When you are in a situation that looks like it is hell-bent on breaking you, do not give up.
Amen.
Do not keep yourself sheltered and boxed in, but rather turn around and turn to your support system, those around you and those above you, to help you to get out of it, because you have the strength to do so. But don't listen to the lies and don't believe the things that are said that don't benefit you any at all. One of the greatest lessons that I have learned is that, and I said it earlier, that your greatness, your higher self lies on the other side of the pain that you will feel. So while you go through the pain and you go through and you feel like you're not make it, hold on, you are going to make it, because there is greatness that is being birthed out of it. Don't sit down in any relationship or friendship at all where people take you for granted and people use and abuse and misuse you and want to come tell you, say, are you alone understand? And how you have to say you're counsel, and how you have to say you're Christian, and how you have to say you're nice, and you do all of them, and how you have to say you're a good girl or a good guy and all that. No, listen to none of them. Now, sit down in a no abusive relationship. Match the of the individuals, because you will find that you will pour and pour and pour and pour into other persons until you have nothing left of yourself.
Nothing at all.
Pick it up off of the ground, and nothing wrong with you ending up in there, because we don't know half of the time, because we enter into relationships out of love and with a good eye and giving ourselves. So nothing wrong if you buck up in it, but don't stay in it when you recognize that it is not good for you. And not blame yourself and say, boy, I should have known. There is no way you could have really known, because you give everybody a chance. Like the song, give peace a chance. You give everybody a chance.
You're not being judgmental, you're being open-minded. Yes.
You get it, Stacey. You understand? But if you're in it and you recognize, say, no, man, then it is okay for you to pack up yourself.
Yes, and wave. Bye-bye.
So me give my best shot later, man. I'll take somebody else for fool, but not me. And that is the honest truth. You have to love yourself more than you love people. You have to love yourself more than you rate people.
Amen. So all right, so before we wrap up, I know that, the entire, I'm going to call it the saga, I know you captured it in a book. So, if you just want to, tell us, a little bit as to where we can get a copy of the book and, the name.
So the name of the book is Lioness's Roar, Exposing the Dash, 2010 to 2016. It's my story of enduring psychological abuse, but also my ascension from it. I give you bits and pieces of it, but I also give empowerment. I don't really like the word empowerment, but I also give information that you can use to power yourself, because I'm not giving you power, to power yourself as you navigate life and you navigate toxic relationships, right? It's lioness's roar because, of course, your roar is your voice, it is your strength. Let no one turn it down or force you to be silent. Learn to roar loud and roar proud every chance you get. Of course, turn up the roar and take the stress off of your chest. That's the mantra behind all of this, because we want individuals to come out of the zone where we think that relationships are to be secret and private, and and because of that we suffer abuse, because those things are breeding ground of abuse. You understand? We want people to talk and be comfortable in expressing what is happening to them. This book is available on Amazon. You can also so you can type in the name Lioness's Roar, exposing the dash. You will find it on Amazon. It's right there. It's in Kindle version, paperback version. You can order it. You can also follow me on Instagram at Roar Unleash. And you can follow me on Facebook at Roar Unleash. I'm recently signed up for TikTok. I don't know what I'm doing. But if you're dead and you're sick and you're talking, then you can do so, Roar Unleashed as well. And you send me a message if you want the book. And if you're in Jamaica, I can have it delivered to you. Most definitely. Call me, send me a message, ask me price, ask me something. And of course, I will readily respond, because we're not just talking about what has happened to us, but we are talking about it with the point of view that we want individuals to be aware that you're not the only one that's going through a part issue. Persons have gone on before you, like myself, like you, Stacey. We are waiting for you on the other side. Over by the other side, nice freedom, nice bad, it's stress-free. It is just wonderful. So join us on side. So you can look it up on Amazon, or of course reach out to me.
So Sosheina, I just want to thank you so much for being with us here today, and for sharing that journey with us, and just your story of overcoming, which I'm sure will, if it inspire 100 people, if even one person, it's very powerful. And I am grateful for you, and for you being able to actually just stand tall in your truth and own it, and not shy away from anything, out of fear of how it will be received or what people will think or say, So thank you very much for being here with us today and sharing that powerful story of overcoming. So my Stacey Speaks tribe, like I always say, God has deposited everything in us that we need to survive and to thrive. And if you were in doubt, you just heard Sosheina's story where she told you that, in order for God to elevate her, he had to break her, take her out of that situation so that he could actually put her to where it is that she's supposed to be. You have heard her give her testimony as to how, things opened up for her once it is that she exited that situation. So sometimes God breaking us is not a bad thing. He's breaking us to promote us and to put us in our right place. All right. So thank you for being here with us for another episode of Bent Not Broken, and stay tuned.